Okay, welcome back to Talking Neat. Today, got a big crowd of people here. So, got the Ocean Project. I've got the Reagan Williams band, and pretty much everything else.
We got everybody.
Yeah.
R&B Crusaders.
Yep,
So,
we do.
how
Kurt
about
Wilson.
Kurt Wilson,
Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams,
I'm Reagan Williams.
I'm Jeff Snell.
and that's who we've got here. So we'll be doing the regular show, and after, bringing more music. How's everyone doing?
Oh,
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
Doing better once you crack one of those bottles, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pouring for you last then. So, to keep everyone quiet, we'll start
That's
out
right.
with some Suntory.
Centauri.
Yeah.
It is a Japanese blended whiskey.
Let's give this a little try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
let's do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Where are we
Great to
at
be here.
anyway?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh,
Okay,
this is
someone
some
was
good
driving
stuff,
us
by the
up.
way. This is some top quality stuff here.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is very,
delicious.
Suntory is
Yeah, yeah.
very good.
This is very tasty.
Mm.
Very smooth. I wouldn't expect that from
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 Japan.
from a Japanese distillery. Actually,
They actually make, I mean, their whiskeys are very sought after.
Mhm.
I can see why.
Yeah. So tell me a little about the Ocean Project.
Okay, the Ocean Project was a brainchild that came about. We have all these wonderful musicians in California, and we just happen to be Southern California. And we had all these wonderful, talented young musicians and older musicians that needed help in either writing their own songs, getting other musicians to help them play on their own songs, or they needed connections to a recording studio to record their own songs, or just generally some help to know where to go. Okay, so the Ocean Project came about as a place for people to meet each other, meet other musicians, other writers, things like that, and also a resource to recording studios, production companies, things like that, even designers, graphic artists, things like that for album design, t-shirt design.
So basically start to finish.
Start to finish, right. The advantage that the Ocean Project has is we've got a few people, myself included, that have been in the industry for quite a long time, and we have a few really good connections in the music industry and the recording industry that we're able to at least get our folks a second look by the recording industry, which is really, really hard to do right now, as everybody knows. It's really impossible for a young artist like Reagan to get his material in front of a Capitol Records or somebody like this. Really, there's thousands of young artists that are trying to do that. We at least have a little bit of our foot in the door where we can get a second look. And this is our advantage. And then we also have the advantage of a lot of community support for the project. So in essence, that's the concept of the Ocean Project. And so far, it's just under a year in existence. We have approximately just under 2,000 people that have looked into the Ocean Project. We've had several of our musicians that have gotten a second look from several record companies, and things are going really well. And it's thanks to people like you and shows like this that are really helping our folks make some inroads into their careers. We also have artists like Jeff that are songwriters, okay, that may not necessarily be at the beginning of their careers like Reagan is, but they're along in their careers, but have a tremendous amount of talent and a tremendous lot to offer artists that may not have the capability of writing their own songs, but have great voice and things like this, but need some help with writing their material. So this is where someone like Jeff comes along. So in essence, that's the concept of the Ocean Project.
Mm-hmm. So how does someone get in contact with you?
Okay,
Whether they're so you're it sounds like you're bringing people in from, I mean, if you have a service to offer, you can be a part of the Ocean Project.
Right. You can, all you have to do is go on to the Ocean Project. It's on my Facebook. It's Kurt Wilson, and it's a direct link to the Ocean Project. And from there, there's a menu of things that'll put you in contact with other players, writers, and so on. It's that easy.
This
Now,
is unbelievable.
Reagan is only 18, and he's the response he's getting is tremendous. He's playing in front of big crowds. They're really digging his music. Reagan is an R&B. Only it's not. I don't want to shoehorn him in to anything, but he's in the I think the classic R&B vein. And I don't know, how would you explain it, Reagan? How would you explain your music?
It's like the blues rock genre.
Chicago Electric Blues, Texas Blues Foundation, with a little more power behind it.
Yeah, some
because
more,
they're kids, you know.
More rock and roll edge to it, but with like the old foundation to it. So yeah.
Reagan
like
also
Cream,
has
Clapton.
a Facebook.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Blues Breakers.
Yeah.
Freddie King, Buddy Guy, the early Buddy Guy stuff, Junior Wells, that type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, the sound that comes through an amp, not a lot of toys and effects and things like that. Just really
You want to hear the
authentic.
real
Yeah.
sound of the amp, not the pedal board.
Yeah, tube amps. Reagan also
Nice
just
stuff.
built his own Blackface Vibrolux. Has 8 tubes, 4 output transformers. He wired every single part of it, soldered it all together. No green circuit board like the modern amps. He literally wired up a 1960s Fender tube amp.
Yeah.
He did every single
Himself.
bit of it by
Yeah,
hand.
himself.
Took him 6 months, and we got about $2,000 wrapped into it. We could go buy one for like $1,200 bucks, but we wanted
That's
It
the
was
not
the
experience. of doing
experience.
it.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
Are
I
you
had no
gonna use it
idea
to
what I was
record?
doing, but it was just so fun to just follow directions and just figure it all out.
Are you going to use it to record?
Oh yeah, that's the primary amp that I'll record with, in the coming months of recording.
So you haven't recorded yet for your new
No,
album?
not yet.
We were in the studio last night. Reagan's getting ready to record at Thunderbird Studios in Oceanside with the Paladins bass player, and
Okay.
so Thomas will be on the album. Thomas Yearsley will be on the album with Reagan playing the bass parts. I play bass myself. That's what I've done for a living for the past 20 years. But I don't want to. I'm the father. I don't want to be the band dad. I just want to. I want to watch and enjoy it.
He's trying not to be.
I want to watch and enjoy it.
He's trying.
I don't want to be the guy, the overbearing band father. You always want to. You want to dive right in. But
He's trying. But
Especially when you have a musical background.
yeah.
and he's-
I want to influence, but I don't want to influence.
But he has his own band too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
I got
actually
my own
has his
band,
own.
sure.
He has his own band.
Yeah.
Which yes, but we're the music business. We're such a tight community, and everybody. It's such a family, and
Which is so weird
Yeah.
because it's so big and vast.
Oh, it's
Right.
ginormous.
Yeah, but
There's
at the
so
same-
many people that. You're all connected to
but
each
we're all
other.
connected.
Yeah.
It's big and vast, but we have this common thread. And one of the common threads is we all want to see our youngsters do well. We all
Oh,
want to
yeah.
see. We all want to see
Yeah.
the next generation of musicians do well. We want to see our replacements
Yeah,
do
oh, yeah.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
Being a drummer, their drummer unfortunately is not here today because he's in school.
Yeah, 16
He's
years, 17 years
he's,
old.
He's a 17-year-old. So
Yeah.
so you know, Uncle Kurt's here today. So we all want to see them succeed and do well. And then we have the NAM show, you know, which is a big part of that going on starting this week.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, I'd like to mention Reagan's other bandmates. He has Justice
Good idea.
Guevara. Yeah,
Good
Justice
idea.
Guevara is on upright bass or guitar. Very, very talented young man. Plays in orchestra, plays in school band, plays in his father's band, and plays in my band, also the Small Town Heroes. He's the second lead guitar. And then we have Boyce Hartzell, also very talented kid.
He's a powerful rock drummer.
Yeah, he looks like he's like a young Keith Moon. It's
He is.
incredible
True.
the amount of energy the kid
that's
has.
my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm always trying to slow down, dude. This is not, you know, we got a long road to go here. But he's a very, very entertaining and very exciting young kid, and it's fun to see these.
I wish he could have
these
been
kids.
here today.
Yeah, it's so much fun to see these kids play. And if you look him up on YouTube, Reagan Williams on YouTube, you can see some of the kids playing as a group, all three of them or four of them. We also try to get a once a week we hire one touring pro to play along with the kids, just to make a connection.
Yeah.
And so we've used Laura Chavez. She plays with Nikki Hill, and she played with the great Candy Kane, who's passed away now.
Yeah.
Laura Chavez is truly one of the great modern blues guitar players. And so she plays along with Reagan occasionally, whenever we can get her. She's always on the road. Thomas Hearsley, again from the Paladins, he's played with Reagan probably 15 times. The biggest supporter of the kids has been all the touring pros, honestly. We had Steve Wilcox, who was in Candy Kane's band for about 11 years, touring the world. And he
Great
just played.
guitarist.
Yeah, he played with
Yeah,
Reagan
she's
last weekend.
incredible.
And I don't know who we'll have this Friday, but we haven't made that call yet. But we always try. We had Buzz Campbell. He plays with Lee Rocker from the Stray Cats. He's done the gig once. Scotty Blinn from Black Market 3. He's played. He's been one of the guests. So every week we have the foundation group of the three kids, and then we bring in a touring pro to round off. Make things a little different. And, just kind of I'll try to also drum in some other people to come watch too.
Yeah,
Throw a
definitely.
big name up there, and all of a sudden you got 15
And
more people.
I'm purely around it as the stopgap guy, and, but it's fun,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I
blast.
love playing. It gives me an opportunity to play and enjoy and just it's a real. I'm blessed. The Lord has blessed me in so many ways, and this is one of them. To give me an opportunity late in my career to give back to the business that I love so much, and it's fantastic. Maybe we should let Jeff figure out what's going on here with Jeff.
Yeah, so that's what's fun for me, coming out here from New York City a year ago, and finding all these new friends and all really great musicians like Reagan and others, and gives you a lot of hope when you see.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's very hopeful. So it's a great connection that way.
Yeah, and Jeff's songs are stories. He's reminiscent of almost the '60s in his storytelling. He talks about the beach and the living on the coast and coming out here and these really cool stories, and it's neat when you see him perform. It's reminiscent of Bob Dylan almost, and this really cool kind of neat thing. It's really enjoyable. So yeah.
And the intersection of Kurt and myself, serendipitous, random, whatever you call it, it just happened and sparks flew.
Yeah.
And we're getting really good playing with each other, and also the next step is starting to write some things together. So we're
Right.
looking
Oh, very
forward to
cool.
that.
Yeah.
So there's something down the road for.
Yeah,
Right.
for all of us. Yeah.
So we're moving on.
Yeah,
Nice.
There you go.
So as we mentioned earlier, we got Jameson. So this is Irish whiskey, and they just basically throw it into on this one it's a stout barrel.
What's that?
A beer barrel.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you end up getting, you got that Jameson flavor, but then the stout barrel, it picks up like this creaminess, kind of like coffee and vanilla.
Oh, nice.
So, and it just it really mellows it out a bit.
Yeah. And by the way, it tastes good with fresh nutmeg on it too. That's how I used it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not.
And
Jameson's
and
good for
scrambled
almost
eggs,
everything.
and scrambled
Yeah,
eggs and taters for breakfast.
Make it into a dessert drink.
It's a little-
So,
Touch
just
there.
out of curiosity here, me being the geeky guy that I am, how would we rate that first?
Oh, the first, what is that again?
That was
Suntory?
that
Suntory,
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
That was very good.
I mean, on a 1 to 10, maybe. What do you
Smooth.
think?
I'd give it. Man, that's some top shelf stuff right there.
I thought it was like an 8, maybe.
Yeah,
or something
yeah, up there.
myself. What do you
Yeah,
think?
very
Yeah, yeah, 7 or 8 for sure.
Yeah.
You thinking like an 8, Jeff?
We'll go with 8. Yeah.
I don't want to be so judgmental, honestly. Very good.
Okay.
Who am I?
Who are? Okay, so number 2 is the Jameson, right?
Yeah, now we're going to Jameson cask.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
Oh, totally.
There's a
different.
change there, yeah.
Totally different.
Oh yeah.
So with your services that you bring to the Ocean Project,
Yeah.
it's mainly songwriting. Where did you get your start in
I've
songwriting?
always loved music and listened to all kinds of different music, from 40s stuff all the way up to current day. And some of my early roots were in country music, bluegrass, and folk singing. So automatically they're such familiar melodies that I just took to writing different words to these melodies. And then continued from there. It just became a passion of mine. So done it all my life. Always had had a real day job and always did this on the side. But recently came out here and wanted to devote my time to this, and it's really been paying off. So as you
Yeah,
can
and
see,
that's
my
the
new
true-
friend. So
Yeah, that's the true tragedy of music, is that you have the most talented musicians in the world. People have toured the world for many years and they have to go out and get a job. I just left the job this morning. I got one of the best musicians in the world getting ready to pour concrete.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. It truly is. I kind of got musically depressed after playing for 20 years and kind of took a break for about 6 years so I could make enough money to survive, because
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
Well-
But you do what you want to do in life, and and music's what we're going to do.
yeah,
Whether we get paid or not, we're going to
Yeah.
play. You've heard
That's
about
what
would
it-
that?
probably really
Yeah.
scare you.
Yeah.
At the amount of
yeah.
of destitute musicians that at one time had done quite well for themselves, and through lack of their own ignorance, a lot of it, but through people taking advantage of
Oh,
them,
yeah.
that they trusted advisors,
Managers.
things like this, managers, unscrupulous, all these type
Parents.
of people, right?
Yeah.
And a lot
Thanks.
of musicians, let's face it, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I went through quite a ordeal in my musical career where I didn't really care too much. I was getting high a lot and stuff like that, and I did not really pay that much attention to my financial situation.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I paid the price. I'm thank God that it's changed now, and I have a different situation, and I also have a lot of good friends that say, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
So.
To add to that, what music is, as much as it is a thing that brings us all together, it's a solo, art too.
Oh, yeah.
When you're, whether you're in a band, with a band, if you're lucky enough to have a group of people that you play with all the time, and of course it becomes a family to you. But you're out there on your own, so it has that extreme part of it as well as bringing everyone together.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole dichotomy of it. But
Yeah, there's
makes
nothing
for
like
makes for
driving.
beautiful results.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing like driving home at 2 in the morning, 200 miles from home, by yourself in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wondering if you're going to get pulled over or not,
Right.
and will the car make it home? That's the other
Yeah.
issue too.
Sure.
Just
All
getting
that
around.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just heard a story about Kid Ramos, one of the true blues great guitar players of our era, was playing with James Harmon back in the 70s and 80s, and a guy literally had to deliver water to make a living and get his, his children were born at that point, and the guy was delivering water.
Right.
And then he hooked up with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and things have gone a lot better for him. But man, what a talent! And I can't believe somebody that talented would be, delivering my Sparklets water or something. Just nuts.
Yeah.
But I don't know if things will change. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But what's inspiring is all these young kids playing this music. It's really brought me around out of the musical funk, is to see kids playing this music and actually playing, to me, the right kind of music, like Reagan was saying earlier, playing through Fender amps and Vox amps, playing these really cool tube amps. Somebody asked me, what about the hum you hear? You hear the hum. I go, yeah, you hear the hum until the music starts, and then the hum goes away.
Yeah.
But that's how, the tube amps are made. They have a bunch of tubes in there, and everything's wired with wires, and there's no circuit board, there's no little chips or anything in there. It's made like it was made in the 30s and 40s, like your old TVs were made, and that's what makes the music sound like that. I remember watching Everybody Loves Raymond one time, and he was mad at his dad because the guy liked to hear the needle hit the record.
Oh yeah.
And when that needle hit the record,
Right.
he had
Me
this
too.
like warm feeling on his body.
Sure.
And the son went and sold all the albums and went and bought him CDs. And he's like, that doesn't sound the same. And he goes, no, it's better. He goes, no, it's not.
Well, now we're back to another whole in the recording industry right now. There's quite a few studios that are kicking themselves in the pants for getting rid of their analog
Oh, yeah.
recording equipment,
Well,
and they've gone purely digital,
Right.
because now so many artists want that analog sound again, that more
Yeah.
purist tube
well, it's.
kind of sound.
I mean, up until like the '80s, everything was analog, and then once like all the keyboards came out for the
Right.
synth pop and
Right,
I mean even pop music at the time,
right.
I mean it just killed. No one wanted analog anymore until, God, what was it, like when grunge came back in the '90s?
Sure.
They
Right.
started using like all the old studios and
Yeah, right. And the
because-
Hammond B3 was
Yeah,
back, and
Yeah, that's
They-
hard to go to a gig with a Hammond B3 and a Leslie speaker.
But
It's
we
really
used
hard
to
to pull
do it.
I know, you had to have a van
we
or a
used to
trailer
haul
to
that
get
stuff around, man.
I mean that's why Dave Grohl,
Right.
he went and saved Sound City.
Yes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he actually owns it. He renamed it. It's now like Studio 606 or something.
Oh,
like
really?
that.
He's very
Yeah.
responsible for all that awareness. He had a
Yeah.
several part series that was on one of the channels, one of the TV channels, all about this.
He's so cool, that guy.
Yeah.
Single barrel 1792 Kentucky bourbon.
That looks good.
This is about 50%, so 100 proof. So your breath will be flammable.
Nice.
I have not had this one.
You haven't had this morning yet?
No,
That's good.
I
Yeah, not too much for me. Man.
Real nice.
This
Yeah,
so far.
So is that the parting gift when we leave here? We're taking that bottle with us?
oh hell no.
Now this
Wrestling
so
in the
far.
parking lot. Ah, don't drop the bottle.
Well, stay here.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like Reagan's most recent experience. He's 18 and he's spent so much time playing music. He hasn't had a whole lot of dating going on, but he saw his first bar boobs the other day. We were at the Aztec down there.
It was a 60-year-old.
So yeah,
It was.
It still counts.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I thought it was a guy. Honestly, I didn't really know.
We're not exactly sure what it was,
Right.
but we're
It's a little
we're
ambiguous.
trying to
you know.
figure it out.
Yeah, but they were boobs, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Oh my goodness.
That's my our buddy Rick Root is a drummer friend of mine that we played in bands together for quite a few years, and he used to always go, "Nothing like bar boobs."
You think you can duplicate what Kevin, all the bands Kevin is?
Oh, he's already surpassed me, man. He really has.
Yeah.
This is kind of a weird thing happening now, where it's a renaissance period as far as learning music. Like there's never been more people that know how to play guitar, because all it takes is a couple of YouTube videos these
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
versus looking at books for hours on end, like 15 years ago before YouTube came out.
Right,
Yeah.
and sitting in your room and like
Picking up the needle and backing it up. And
Yeah, now you can just look up guitar solo for whatever song you've ever wanted to learn, and there it is, all slowed down, and they show you exactly
laid
how
out
to
for
do it.
you.
Yeah. So
Incredible.
yeah,
Incredible.
Different times.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, it's totally different times.
Now, what are your musical influences, Reagan? Why do you listen to music?
I kind of picked this stuff. I kind of didn't really know what I was into a few years ago, and then I just started listening to some Paladin stuff, and then I realized that I kind of liked that stuff because I grew up listening to it, and then kind of just expanded from there. I like Buddy Guy and Freddie King and Junior Wells, and everyone loves Stevie Ray Vaughan, so yeah.
Because your age group, I mean, it's different music, totally. You know, I mean.
Well, I mean, the music kids listen to these days is trash, and it's all because the radio, like the stuff they play on the radio tells these kids that this is cool, and if you control what's being played on the radio, then you control what, like, the kids listen to, and then the kids think it's cool, and then, yeah. So, you know,
Right
I'm
on.
just trying to bring back something
Well, it's
that's...
now, I mean, you don't have as many people listening to the radio. It used to be the new music would come out through the radio, and then, but now it's, I mean, you really don't get new music. There's really no outlets for new music. You can go onto like Spotify or YouTube, but it's up to you to pick what you're going to listen to now.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
exactly.
to, you create your own playlist. You're not,
No,
I mean, I used to hear stuff, and people talk about social media all the time, but it's not social in that musical aspect where you have someone going, oh, you know what, you need to go listen to this.
Yeah.
This is what you need. I mean, have you heard the new track from this?
Yeah.
Because and I mean, I used to pick up most of my music from just like friends and neighbors.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff.
we'd get a record,
And-
right?
yeah.
We'd go sit
now
down.
it's-
Right?
And hang out.
And hang out, and you know, right?
Yeah, now it's, I mean, you can download whatever you want, but it's one of those things, like, I had enough money from my allowance to get one album a month.
Yeah.
That was it.
If that.
And so if I made that a bad choice,
Oh, it sucked.
You didn't know what
Oh,
the
yeah,
that
I
stupid
sucked.
record
The
yeah,
record,
it
like,
sucked.
sat in the
Because
back,
I had to wait for
Yeah.
another month
Right.
until I could get a new album.
Right.
And so I made sure, like, I'd go through everything that came out
Right.
Yeah.
to make that wise decision.
Right.
And then you'd listen to it
Right.
over and over and over.
Right.
I mean, now I could listen to 55 albums in a day if I wanted to.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Never hear the same thing again. And
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they all average around like 35 minutes for a full, like, 12 song album, and then, like, you just
yeah.
do
That's
that all
not
day
enough
long.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. I love music documentaries.
Yeah.
A- Another really good one. It might get loud. Have you ever
Oh,
seen that?
yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing. You mean the one with Jimmy Page
Yeah.
and the Edge?
And the guy from the White Stripes.
And,
Yeah, Jack White.
Jack
yeah.
White.
Have you seen that yet,
I
Reagan?
don't think so.
It's Jimmy Page and the Edge from
U2.
U2 and
Yeah, it's like
Jack
three
White.
distinct sounds in different
And-
eras.
And they all get together in one room basically, and and just jam.
Well, they talk about their songs, how
There's-
they get their sound, how
Right.
they like different things that
Yeah,
influence
their personalities. How
them.
they-
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then kind of towards the end, the Jimmy Page is just like playing.
Yeah,
a
and
riff.
buries it and,
Yeah.
and pretty much puts the other two
And-
guys
and the
are
other,
like,
yeah, it's funny because you feel exactly how like Edge and Jack
White
had to have felt because
ri-
you
just wither
you know
at
the
that
producer
point.
is
Of course,
going.
yeah.
You know the producer is going, pick up your bass, play. He's like off camera doing that, and they're just
They're like at his level
Yeah.
for a while, and then all of a sudden Jimmy Page goes,
Yeah, you know, you
Lays
can
it-
tell
just
they were
lays it
very
on,
hesitant
man.
about like jamming with him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're as much of a fan as like everyone watching.
Sure.
They did not want to
Yeah.
like spoil it or anything. They just wanted to be there for
Right.
it.
Page doesn't spoil it till the very end.
Yeah. But it's really cool because I love the opening scene where Jack just walks out. I mean, you see all these cows around.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And all it is he takes like a couple nails and he's just
Yeah.
like hitting them with a bottle and he puts it under, like puts a string, like plugs it in, and it's
Right
just like
up.
a 2x4,
Yeah.
like a fence post.
Yeah.
And he just goes,
Starts playing
Who-
slide on it.
yeah,
man.
and he goes,
Lap
who
steel.
says you need a expensive guitar to make music?
Yeah.
And the sound from it
It's
is
amazing.
just,
right?
yeah, it's
That's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yeah, it shows him out on his farm in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, and then it switches to Page in this gigantic
Yeah.
mansion, you know, in England, you know, from all his Led Zeppelin money, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just amazing.
And he pulls out the album Rumble, right? That's his favorite.
Oh, Link
favorite
Ray,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
This
then
is what did it for me. Put it
then
on the
it
record
switches
player.
to a scene of Kevin with a shotgun throwing Zeppelin right
Yeah, we should.
It was the 70s, man. It was the 70s. That was a fun party.
But you know, but just
Touche.
I mean, you know, like the Edge, you know, the guy's a technological wonder. You talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
all the pedals and all the stuff. I mean, he
All the
has
invention.
so much stuff.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's, I mean, he has one guy that's totally devoted to just plugging his different pedals and switches and gizmos and. I mean, the array of stuff he has is ridiculous. I mean, it's cool, you know, but it's I had no idea. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Every chord is a new opportunity for failure.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time you plug something in, man, oh God, what happened?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
why he's got a guy. Or
Yeah, yeah,
his own
sure.
guy, I guess. Yeah.
Well, shall we play some music?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
play some
yeah,
music.
So I guess we'll end it here.
Yeah.